Hi everybody, I'm Michael and this is Carelifornia. And so today I just want to do a quick overview of the new stimulus package update information that became available over the weekend regarding one, the Get My Payment portal that's been updated and revised. Additionally, information regarding non-tax filers, so like SSDI, SSI, railroad benefits, Social Security, retirement, those folks who are trying to get the stimulus check claimed for their dependents, as well as an idea of when some of those checks may come in or when they're at least going to start getting sent out. And then finally, a brief tutorial to go over what the IRS portal for adding dependents looks like. So what information you're going to need, as well as what websites to go to and what the kind of general process is. So let's first take a look at what the updates have been made to the Get My Payment portal and how that's going to look now. Okay, so over the weekend, like I said, they did a update to the Get My Payment portal through the IRS, and it really is meant to do more functionality than how it looks. So it looks exactly the same as I review it, but the difference to it is allegedly now it starts working. It slices, it dices, it makes julienne fries. No, just kidding. But it should actually be a little bit more functional than it had been previously. Now, from some of the folks that I've talked to who have already applied or are looking at it with their information, they indicate that it actually has gotten through. So folks who had applied earlier but are tried to utilize the portal earlier and it didn't work, they were able to get through and get their information updated. Now, with the portal, just a reminder, there are three different status that one can have. And the first status is going to be payment status. And so that's in a case where you are eligible for a stimulus check, and either it'll give you a date of when the check was distributed or sent out to your direct deposit, or when it will be in the future distributed or scheduled for to be sent out through the mail as well. So those are the main ones under the payment status. The second one is it needs information. So if it says that you need information, it'll usually give you the different information that you need, as well as an opportunity to input that information, so bank account information or verification information and things like that. And then the third one is payment not available. Now, payment not available has a couple reasons why that could happen. The primary one is for somebody who has not filed taxes in either 2018 or 2019. But it could also be someone whose previous taxes show that they are not eligible for the stimulus check because of income, or maybe because of citizenship, lawful presence eligibility, things like that. Also, with the payment portal, there's a couple things that you actually can't change. So one would be your payment information. So if you have already got your paycheck sent out to you, either by mail or direct deposit, then you actually won't be able to change that payment information. Additionally, if you are trying to change information that was on there from previous years, but it's no longer active or no longer your bank account, you actually can't change that as well. So the information that the IRS has for direct deposits that they got from your taxes from previous years, they're going to keep that there. Now, if they do send out a check to you, to that bank account, and it gets rejected as far as a direct deposit, then they're going to go revert back to the mailing address that they have and send you out a paper check. As well as if you have a paper check, then they're just going to send it out to your mailing address. And then finally, we got word that in the next couple of weeks, they're actually going to have a Spanish version of the Get My Payment portal. So we'll have to look and see when that happens. You know, I think looking at the way that it's been rolled out so far, hopefully a lot of the bugs that happened on the English side don't happen on the Spanish side. But when that does become available, then we'll definitely make an update regarding that. So now let's take a look at some of the information that came out and some more specifics regarding non-tax filers who are trying to claim their dependents. So we want to get that extra $500 for their dependents who are under the age of 17. So for folks who are non-tax filers, but they still have dependents, let's talk a little bit about how that's supposed to work and some of that information regarding claiming those dependents if you are a non-tax filer. So usually that's going to be people who have SSI, SSDI, railroad benefits, VA, or normal Social Security retirement. Now, first, let's get that out of the way. The hard part, or the sad part, is that for folks who are being claimed as dependents but are not under the age of 17. So adults who are being claimed as dependents, neither the individual who's claiming them or the individual themselves is going to be eligible for a stimulus check. And that's just kind of the bitter truth, the unfortunate part of the rules of how the stimulus check is written, or the stimulus information and program is written. Now, for individuals who are on SSDI or SSA or railroad benefits or VA, and they're not filing taxes, but they have individuals who are under the age of 17, they are going to be eligible for a stimulus check of $500 per dependent. Okay, and so that can range from 1 or 2 or however many children or how many dependents somebody has, but they have to be under the age of 17. Now, where things get a little bit tricky is depending on the type of benefit that you're eligible for and your tax filing when you file taxes, it's going to change the dates of when you can actually notify the IRS about having those dependents. So first, let's talk about folks who have SSI and VA benefits. So if you have a Social Security, SSI, Social Security insurance, or VA benefits, then you are going to need, and you have not filed taxes, so you haven't filed your taxes in the last 2 years, 2018 or 2019, then you will need to log on to the IRS.gov non-tax filer website, which is, we're going to do the tutorial a little bit at the end here to go over what information you do and where you need to go, as well as put the links in the bottom. But you'll need to log into that website and update that information about yourself as well as dependents who you are going to be claiming. Because if you haven't filed taxes for 2018 or 2019, but these people are still dependents of you, the IRS has no way of knowing unless you make that update. So you want to go to the website, put in the information for those dependents, and then submit it. And one really important aspect of this is that it needs to be done by May 5th. So May 5th is the deadline for non-tax filers who are SSI or VA beneficiaries to update the IRS through their non-tax filer website about dependents and be able to get the stimulus check for $500 per dependent. So that is very important because that is the deadline to do it. And if you miss it, then you're gonna have to wait until when you actually file your taxes for 2020 to get that benefit. So you'll still get the benefit, but you're gonna have to wait until the end. And right now, a lot of folks can actually use that cash. Now, for folks who have normal Social Security retirement or SSDI or railroad benefits, there is a little stipulation in the sense that the date to claim the dependents for those individuals actually has already passed. So it was April 22nd is when you needed to be able to update the IRS about those dependents if you had not filed taxes and you have Social Security retirement, SSDI, and railroad benefits. The reason being is those checks are actually coming out sooner than the checks for the folks who have SSI and VA benefits. Now, again, it doesn't mean that you lost those benefits. You'll still get that extra cash, but you'll have to do it when you file your taxes for 2020. And in fact, you'll have to file taxes for 2020. So that might be a thing that's a little difficult. Another aspect of this is that if you are a Social Security retirement, SSDI, or railroad benefits beneficiary, then do not go to the IRS.gov website and now try to update the dependents. It will cause all kinds of mayhem within the system. So just don't do it because it'll make a lot of problems with the information that the IRS is going to have, especially because it's already after April 22nd. So for SSI and VA benefits, you still have till May 5th. If you are a Social Security retirement, SSDI, or railroad benefit recipient, then you're gonna, unfortunately, and you have not already updated the IRS about the dependents, then you're unfortunately gonna have to wait till 2020 when you file your taxes and then file taxes for 2020. All right, so let's talk about when and how you're actually going to get your checks. Now, realistically, we don't know exactly when it's going to be, everything's going to be available. We have some ideas about dates when they're going to start being distributed into the accounts of beneficiaries for those non-tax filers. So as I had mentioned before, for people who have SSI and VA benefits, they have until May 5th to submit the dependents. So I would imagine that those benefits are going to come out after May 5th and start rolling out kind of in waves across the country. Now, for folks who have Social Security retirement, disability, survivors, VA, and there are non-tax filers, actually we got word from the IRS over the weekend that these should be in the accounts by April 29th. That's this week. So check your mailboxes or your bank accounts towards the end of this week and see if those distributions or those stimulus checks have been distributed out by then. And so remember, that's the reason why you can't add those dependents, but you can still get the dependents later when you file your taxes, if you file taxes. So that's an idea of when we're supposed to get those out. No one knows exactly what it is, just going by the way that the government system has been working. It's been working okay, but it doesn't always happen on the time frames that they say. All right, so finally, let's take a look at the IRS.gov non-tax filer page and get an idea of what information you're going to need to have to be able to submit the information regarding your dependents to get that extra $500 stimulus check and how that whole process works. So first of all, go to IRS.gov and look up the non-tax filers payment tool. And it says right here in big letters that if you are planning to file taxes, do not use this portal. You really only want to use it if you are an SSI or VA benefits or a non-tax filer and you're trying to register and you haven't filed for the last 2 years. And you're trying to register to get the extra $500 for your dependents stimulus check. And really what you're going to need to have up front is going to have the names, obviously, current mailing addresses and emailing address, dates of birth and valid social security numbers for yourself and for your spouse and for your dependents, bank accounts numbers, type of bank account and routing numbers, an identity protection personal identification number or the IPIN, driver's license, state ID, as well as the name and social security number for all children that are adopted or are the ITIN as well, the tax identifier number, and the relationship to yourself or for your spouse. So you basically need everyone's social security numbers, everyone's addresses, everyone's emails, everyone's dates of birth, and bank account information before you start the whole process. Now, when we go to the website, you can see here, enter in your information. So you click on that button, and this will take you to another account and to another page. And that's okay. It's the free file page, so you'll technically leave the IRS page, but that's okay. This is the page that you're supposed to be on. You just simply have to click Get Started and then create an account. Now, when you're creating the account, you first got to use obviously that email number, that email address or phone number, and you have to make a user ID and a password. Okay. Additionally to that, you're going to need to know what your filing status is, or what you are. So if you're married or you're single or if you're married filing jointly, as well as a social security number for yourself and for your spouse. And then you also need to check the box if you are going to be claimed as a dependent or not. Because remember, if you are being claimed as a dependent, then you are going to be excluded from being able to get the stimulus check, as well as the person who's claiming you as the dependent will not be able to get that as well. Also, again, you're going to need that banking information, so the routing number and the account number to put into the account, as well as personal information to verify who you are and your driver's license or state ID. Now, once you have all that information and once you put all this information into the portal, then you'll get a confirmation email from Free File fillable forms that acknowledges that you have successfully submitted your application, or that it tells you have a problem and how to correct it. So if there's additional information that needs to be added that's not there, you can get that as well. Now, once this is done, they will use this information to automatically complete a 1040 and transmit it to the IRS to compute, and then also send you your payment. So it's not a real complex process. You just got to make sure you know where to go and make sure you go to the right website, because there are lots of websites that are not the correct websites. And as you can see here, we're just putting these up here because they are from the IRS website. I'll put the links down below as well so that you can see which plans, which websites you need to go to and be completely prepared. And remember that May 5th is the deadline for those folks who are non-filers, who are SSI and VA, who need to claim their dependents. If you miss that date, then you're gonna have to wait until you file your taxes, or you actually gonna have to file taxes, and then that's when you'll be able to get the stimulus check for your dependent. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you do find that our videos are interesting or useful or helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions or comments or things like that, put that in the comment box below, and I'll be happy to make a new video to go over the questions that you have in the comments, or maybe make it just a post that's real quick and to get that information out there for you, or any links or information that I have that can help you out. Additionally, here at Carelifornia, we are specialists in health insurance. So we can do Covered California, we do private health insurance, small businesses, Medicare, the whole gambit of options that are available specifically for individuals here in California. And our services are 100% free. So there's never, ever a cost for anything that we do for anybody who utilizes our services here in California. So if you do have questions about your health insurance, or for more stimulus questions, or EIDL or PPP, which we also have other videos and we'll be making updates about that, please make sure you leave a comment below and we'll be happy to address that. So other than that for today, this is Carelifornia. I'm Michael, wishing you a happy, healthy day.